Good morning. Good morning. It is September 22nd, 2025. It is Monday. It's about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, kind of started my day a little bit late, so sorry about that. So, there was some very interesting things that happened this weekend, and yeah, let's talk about it. First of all, the volume shut off like it normally does on the weekend, and we started to get this like slow drip that was happening. So here, let's see here. This is the 12-hour chart right here. So we are looking at here, 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 and here, right? So this is the 20 seconds, right? Yeah. So this is about right. So this was the weekend. And Sunday, right? Sunday, when the market turned on, yeah, this thing kind of like spilled out, and it took a pretty heavy drop, more so on the Ethereum side than on the Bitcoin side. And Yeah, so let's talk about this. First of all, let's update where we are as far as these charts go, um, and where I am in my positions currently. Right, so currently I am positioned right over here. I DCA'd in last week, like I said, and this is the zone right here. Um, yeah, I still don't feel like we are going. I mean, we could go lower, but I don't really feel like we've done anything too significant at this point. What we did do was we didn't really grab the middle of the range here, right? Like there was this kind of like, I don't know, flat tire, let's just say, um, in this zone, right? Where it looks like it gripped it and then it just kind of played around. And of course, this section right here was all news driven. And I mentioned before in during the news is that we could, kind of bounce around in this area and do all sorts of things, right? It just becomes very very iffy in the middle. And one of the things that I mentioned was don't play the middle, play the outsides like this, right? But also in Ethereum, I said last week that I had a plan, and my plan is that this chart was going to eventually come back and tap this character change right here. And I was looking at this zone to add on to. Now I prematurely added um, onto my long, right? And it shifted my position right over here, which is okay. I'm okay with that. If you notice, I'm encompassing this long area, and this is the line that I believe if we get any lower than that, then yeah, we're going much lower. So if we take a full picture as to what's going on, let's just kind of look at the chart in its in its entirety, right? We are still playing in the range, right? We came out of the range over here, and yeah, we came back over here, but we're still above in the range. We're just on the side of the range, right? Still, we are still on the side of the range. So now becomes this point where things become questionable, right? Because we took such a hard dip yesterday, are we staying below this 50% range? Are we going any lower? Are we going to zero? No. Um, I don't believe so, right? We're still in this range, and the range works just like this. You long here, you short here, okay? And you try your best not to play in the middle, okay? So that's the goal. Now, if you notice, anytime I'm looking for a move up, I'm always looking underneath where we are for that. So I was looking for this change of character to be hit. Now, I said that when we were up here. And even so, I believe I said that when we were up here as well. The reason why is because you don't just want to like fire in. You want to let the chart move to you. It's not really a missed opportunity, and you have to understand that. Like these charts will come back to where they came from, especially in breakouts, right? So And sometimes what they do is they go lower than a breakout. And you could see that right over here. This is a good example. Here's a breakout right over here, right? But if I extend this line from this, it went up, and look, it went underneath, kind of knocking that guy out right over there, right? So, yeah, the fact that we're underneath this is not really that, surprising to me. I'm a little bit more surprised at Ethereum than anything, but again, I mean, these charts, they work like that. Like, if Bitcoin is running up like this, Ethereum is going to move like this. If Bitcoin is going down and the dominance is great, then Ethereum is going to run even straighter down. So that's not really, you know, too surprising, but the amount that it moved down was surprising to me, especially last night. Now, I don't really need to know why these charts are moving the way that they move. If you notice, I'm always calling out some target areas to kind of check out. And that's because regardless of what the move is going to be, whether it's going to be like, straight up like this, or it's going to be like this, I'm only worried about A and B. Now, I don't know what the news was to make it come over here, but I called this out a long time ago last week that we would be checking out this kind of change of character area for the breakout, right? So regardless of what the news is, the news became a catalyst to move the chart exactly where it was really supposed to go, okay? What we did was we took advantage of these areas as much as we could by playing them and then taking profit any which way. So that's how you got to play these. This becomes like a really big if-then scenario. So while I'm looking for the chart to go up here, you'll notice that as I was talking, I also planned for what if it went down here. It becomes this big if this, right? Then that. Okay? But it's also both ways. If up, then this, then that. And if, sure, if it goes down, then that, right? So now, one of the good examples of that is I have this clip from last week that I did for Ethereum. So let's go take a look over at Ethereum real quick to see exactly what's going on with it, right? And, kind of where we are. So here was, let me pop this out here. Ethereum took a major spill. But here was a clip from last week. This was on Wednesday. And listen to what I said in here. I'll see if this is good enough. Here we go. So I will be looking for that. Hold on a second. Hold on, sorry. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here. 1 second. Let me drop this back. Let's do it again. So I will be looking for that. That's my plan. Right now, I did DCA in. I moved my position over here, just as a reminder. The position's right over here, and my stop loss is right down here. And again, this aligns with my line in the sand here. Now, if for some reason I get stopped out, depending on what's happening, I will be looking over here for a long again. Okay, because of this over here, I would be looking for a long. Like if this chart were to come down here and take this guy out over here, whoever longed on this section, then I would be looking to kind of get in, because I think that's a good sniping spot. But that's only if we go down. I am looking for it to go up. I still feel like we've got this area here. Not only that, but this pattern. Okay, so yeah, so this is what happened in there, and look at this. Look where this went. It took out this guy over here. So what I did was last week, let me zoom in a little bit. On Friday, I ended up DCAing in again, okay, in the area that I was at. But I did move my stop loss up. because this became a very risky area, especially the fact that Ethereum never gripped onto the 50% range, but it was playing in the middle. And I decided to play this zone, right? Being like, you know, maybe this is the area for it to go up. And I am looking for it still to go up here. I am, okay? And don't think like I'm some kind of like bullish you know, like I'm full bull mode. No, this is about the charts. This is about being in a range and how a range works and the characteristics of a range. The longer that we hang out at the bottom of the range, the more likely the upper part of the range will get tapped, as long as we're in a range, right? So here you could see over here, like we were down here, and look where it went. It went to the upper side of the range. So yeah, so even though, you know, this might have been a really great short opportunity up here and you could have caught the whole range, I didn't. Instead, I played the longs to the point that I want to get in the zone here. Now, sometimes plans don't work out. And this is a good this is a good idea as to a plan not working out here. Now, I've taken a lot of profit here. I rinsed and repeated on this side a lot. I've also taken profit here and here. So when I decided to DCA over here and move this position, I ended up DCAing again. But what I did was I moved my stop up here. I used these candles here. If you go on Friday, I use these candles as a reference. If I were to break out here and lose this and get stopped out, I didn't really lose too much. Just a little bit of the profit that I made, right? So I did say that if we did lose this area and we went down, this would be the perfect area. And I went like this in this zone, right? I went like this. It was a little bit off because I was encompassing this. So right now I am in a long. I've gotten stopped out here. And I'm attempting another long right over here. And this is where it becomes a little bit tricky, because we can continue down from this point, right? And it would feel like that. We are going to zero. But the way the bottom of the range feels always is the same. So I am taking a swing at this. This is just a risk that I'm willing to take, right? And if we get over here, I have a place to take profit. And if we come over here, I have a place to take profit. And again, you know, the whole idea is everything that I did on this side here will be the same that I do down here. So, yeah, it feels a little bit risky. It feels a little bit, you know, that was such a huge drop. Like, you know, why would we're definitely going lower. Well, maybe. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to feel in this section, right? So I do have another area here. If I get stopped out over here, then I will pause and see what the chart is going to do, so that I can then plan later on as to what's going on. Because we very well could melt down very, very far, right? So this is the tricky part. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I still feel like we're in the range. So, you know, you play the range until otherwise told. But I will jump over to this chart, which is another chart that I laid out here. And we don't normally go to this one, but here's what I do want to show you. I have this marking right over here. And looking at this marking on Ethereum, if you look, this is the top of the previous high right over here. And you see the thickness of it and everything. Look where we hit. Let me get rid of these. So this zone is completely relevant to be in. And yeah, I mean, I do feel like we are testing the breakout zone, right? So this is the breakout zone right over here. This is where we broke out. We broke out into our you know, into our high at that point, right? So yeah, we're testing that again. Okay, so my plan, to just kind of like sum everything up, is I am going to hang out in this zone here and see what's going on. I'm looking for a move back up. I'm hoping for a move back up. That would be nice so that we can revisit the top of the range finally. But yeah, as long as we are above this spot right here, we are still in range play, right? So we will see what, the day brings. And yeah, so as far as that goes, I am in a long right here. This is where I'm at. This is my stop zone right here. I'm playing low leverage on this to give me this nice stretch without having to lose too much on it. As far as Ethereum goes, you can see I am in a long. This is no longer relevant. This was my stopped out zone. So I got a loss there, which is okay. It's all a part of it. You can't win every time, right? But it's important to litigate your risk as much as possible. So this is the zone that I'm playing right here. If we go lower than this here, then yeah, I'm going to tap out. And that's when I'm going to chill out and wait. So that's my plan for now. I hope you guys have a safe and lovely day. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.